Let's take you to the Eastern Cape now because the University of Fort Hare is hosting Higher Education Minister Dr. Nobuhle Nkabane. Her visit forms part of an oversight of higher education institutions. Once a highly respected institution, this particular university played a key role in education and research during the difficult years of apartheid. However, in the more recent past, its reputation has suffered multiple blows due to a number of controversies. Watching the build-up to this oversight visit is SABC News reporter Abongile Jantjies, who joins us now live. And Abongile, you know, very few institutions in the country can boast the kind of alumni that Fort Hare has. Really, icons of the world have walked through those doors. But as I mentioned earlier, recently it's been one crisis after another. One has to wonder to what extent the minister's visit, I beg your pardon, could change this.
Indeed, that's the mission of the minister, to change the challenges and see to the challenges that are being experienced by the University of Fort Hare, particularly the students who remain unfunded. It seems like the issue of financial aid remains one of those bottlenecks where students can't even access meals, where students can't even access accommodation. Well, behind me I've got the leadership, the student leadership, the SRC, and they have a number of demands and they're eagerly waiting to address them to the minister when she arrives here at around 10 o'clock. If I can bring in the SRC president, Ayanda Kahlakala. I hope I mentioned it correct. Thanks a lot for your time. You are here holding these posters. What are your grievances?
Thank you very much. My name is Aphelele Kalakahla. As you have rightfully mentioned, we really have a problem with financial aid. Majority of plus minus 2,000 students at Fort Hare are not funded. Majority of them, they go to bed without having eaten. But yesterday, we have launched 1 meal a day, which is one of the things that will fight poverty and address food insecurity. So we will plead with the public and everyone, sponsors, business people, and all people who can be able to be of assistance to assist us in terms of raising funds and donating towards this initiative, in ensuring that it becomes sustained and it becomes a success.
How did we get to the situation where some students don't have funds and you had to resort to this as if you are a charity aid?
In majority of students who are at Fort Hare, they are from rural areas, as you may know historically, and you know the issue of unemployment, particularly in Eastern Cape. Then you would find out that these students, majority of them are in postgraduates, and when we speak about postgraduates at Fort Hare, they are not funded. There's only one funding that is here. It's NRF, which funds plus minus 90 students out of plus minus 3,000 postgraduates. So we have that, and on those who are undergraduates, some of them are first years who did not actually apply simply because they had no access to information on how to apply for NSFAS. Some applied, but they applied for a loan, and some only registered and thought they finished applying. Hence, we are also pleading with NSFAS, and we'll plead with the minister to open late applications for NSFAS. Also, the defunding of students has been a continuous thing by NSFAS, and the lack of sponsorship for Fort Hare, particularly for faculties such as social sciences and humanities, some of the departments in agric and all of that. So those are the students that we are trying to then accommodate.
The Office of the Premier recently allocated about 70 million rand into clearing student debt. Is the university receiving any of that? We have raised our concerns with how the Premier's fund is distributed. We went to Parliament or in the legislature to raise that with Premier. We've raised it with Premier. We raised it with Merseta. The way which they are distributing it, they are only distributing it through Merseta that funds only financial accounting and computer science. And at Fort Hare, we have no problem or crisis there. Then in that 20 million that is going to be allocated here,
I rest assured that only 1 million that is going to be of good use. Then leaving majority of those students which we're speaking about that are plus minus 2,500 postgraduates without fund. So for us at Forte, we appreciate the initiative, but it doesn't help students.
Okay. The minister is here today. She'll conduct a number of activities. At around 1 o'clock, she'll be leaving. With her being here, what's the one message you would say to her that she must take back to Parliament, wherever her powers be?
Now we are commencing with classes. Classes have commenced. There are students who are not yet registered. Most painfully is final year students, PGC students who are left with one module to complete, continuing masters and PhD students whom the university doesn't want to grant them concessions, would plead with minister to intervene there. Secondly, there is an issue of Funza students, Funza Lushaka students, who Funza, which is their sponsors, just changed the policies without consulting their beneficiaries, which is students, without consulting leadership of the students such as us. So we'll plead with the minister to speak to Funza Lushaka Basari to actually change those policies, or at least consult us so that we can guide, because the change of e-book or money that is for book allowances to e-book voucher, it won't help at Forte, because there won't be services or service provider to do that. And particularly where we are at Alice, we're having a problem with the pilot project for accommodation. There is no accredited accommodations here, and the population of Alice is plus minus 11,000 this year, and the accommodation or number of beds at Alice is 6,025. So we are left with more than 4,000 students without a place to sleep as we are sitting. And last year, these students used to get 4,500 for them to go and rent outside and to address the challenges. But as from last year, they are getting 2,500. And we are here to plead with, and will plead with the minister to take back the monies to 4,500, because. Yeah. On a reality, that is just a rent money. Then in those places that are staying at, there's no washing machines, there's no Wi-Fi, they need to provide that. There's no transportation, they need to transport themselves. There is no basic necessities such as bed. You just rent an empty space. You have to buy yourself stoves, you have to buy yourself appliances. So the 2,500, we feel it's illogical, and it doesn't really assist the students who are battling with the lack of accommodation at Alice.
Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all the best with the engagement with the minister. And they have it from one of the SRC members. After this, we hopefully will be engaging with the university management on these issues that this SRC member has spoken about, and then we shall bring you another update later on the day.
Abongile Jantjies is live to us there from Fort Hare University in the Eastern Cape. For now, Abongile, thanks very much indeed.